So, okay, so this is my new home biogas system. It's a system where you can put all of your kitchen waste into or pet waste, and it produces biogas that you can cook on and fertilizer for your garden. So the way it works, my kitchen is right through those doors, so it's very close and convenient. I bring all my kitchen waste into here and put it into this sink. The sink has a little plunger, so you can push the food down in, and it goes into a digester tank at the bottom, where there is anaerobic bacteria, and the food waste, the anaerobic bacteria digests the food and creates methane. So let me show you how it works. When you first get the system, you fill this bottom tank with water and some type of bacterial starter. You can either use a bacterial starter kit that they provide, or you could do what I did and just use horse manure because it's easy and accessible. So I put about five gallon buckets of horse manure in here, and after I filled it with water, and then I let it sit for mine took about a week and a half, and it started producing gas. So when it starts producing gas, this is the gas tank. It comes deflated, and so you can tell as soon as it starts to produce, it'll start to inflate this bag. On top of the bag, it's hard to see, but there are these sand bags that generate the pressure, so that your end appliance has enough pressure to make a nice consistent flame. So anyway, when you put your food scraps, I live right on a busy street. When you put your food scraps in, they will go through the sink. This is the input. It'll go into the digester tank, and then that's where all of the digestion takes place. As the bacteria decompose the food scraps, it produces a gas that comes up through this tube. And this is a filter for the hydrogen sulfide, which would otherwise have a slightly like rotten egg smell. So they take that out, which is really nice. And then the biogas, the clean biogas, goes into the gas bag.
And it's full.
It's full, right? And this is about 65% methane, 35% carbon dioxide, depending on what you're feeding it, which creates a really nice, beautiful flame to cook on. And yes.
Now you have a couple of these units right now, right?
I do. One is just strictly for taking to shows,
right.
Because once you fill this up, you can't really transport it.
Yeah.
You'd have to empty it again. But anyway, so then the gas goes into here, it goes out the yellow line. This will never get too full. Once it the bag fills up, it will burp out any excess. So you can leave it for extended periods of time. And then also, as you add the food waste into here, because this bottom tank is always full, as you add the food waste, nutrient-rich natural fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, comes out the other end. And so that is amazing. I've been using it on my plants.
And you can see the results.
Right? And they say it makes like 70% more productive plants. I don't know.
So how much food scrap are you putting in a day?
I think I put in about a quart a day. You can put up to 6 quarts a day. But like I said, I have never run out of gas.
Well, we can see, yeah.
Right? It's
that's
pretty
full.
And I cook my tea and my eggs on it every morning. I have mine connected to this stove over here. It's just outdoor. It works beautifully. And then I really like the fact that I get the fertilizer, because I am trying to grow a lot of my own.
Now, how much are these units going for right now?
These units cost $1,090. You can order them off of homebiogas.com. They're shipped from Israel, so the company is based in Israel. It's manufactured in Israel, which some people like that because it's nice quality. And the company really does a lot of humanitarian efforts, which I like also. They have systems. They've donated to Syrian refugee camps, and they put them in underserved communities. And it's really, really nice.
So let's show everybody what the output is then.
Okay, so like I said, the gas is stored in this tank, which is connected to this tube. Right now I've got it closed because I've been testing various appliances. This is just a little drainage outlet, which is sometimes condensation may form. I've never had anything come out of that. But so when we open this valve, I can then go turn on the stove and light it up, and you can see the beautiful flame it creates. And then this is where the fertilizer comes out, and then really it's...
And also the burping?
Yeah, the burping, yes, it'll come, it goes out into the tank and then out this tube and then just into the air because it's the gas. So anyway, so let's open this up. Open that up.
Now this is a totally electric-free system, and this electricity here is just for a heater in case the water froze.
Yes, good point. So it is February right now. I've had to use this aquarium heater just a couple of nights just to make sure the system doesn't freeze. The bacteria thrive in warmer temperatures. So this cover really traps the heat from the sun. You're supposed to put it in a sunny area. This is the sunniest area I have.
And we can see it produced a lot of gas.
It's
full.
working fine. It's working beautifully.
So it's not really full sun yet. It's working fantastic in this environment.
Yes, and even in this cooler weather.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So you would expect this to actually do better in the summer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. So I'm gonna have to start cooking more. Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, this is just a stove that I got off of Amazon. They do have biogas stoves, but they're very hard to come by in the U.S. So I think the best option is to order one while you're ordering the system because they'll ship them to you from there. But if you don't have access to a biogas stove, these stoves can be modified. This is just a natural gas stove. There was previously a little orifice in there which regulates the pressure. It's just it's like a little nut that's got a little hole. But because the only pressure of this system is those sandbags, you don't need something that's like controlling the pressure. So you just remove that orifice and it works beautifully. This one, however, isn't ideal because it's got a thermocoupler which shuts off the gas if there's not enough heat on that thermocoupler. So when I light this one, I have to hold it down and make sure the flame stays for a couple of seconds to see if that's sufficient.
That's
sufficient.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so normally you wouldn't have to do that if it didn't have that thermocoupler. But then look, it's beautiful, and you can, 2 hours a day is really sufficient for my needs, and I have 2 teenage boys. So because look, water takes 10 minutes to boil maybe, and then my eggs are another 4 minutes, and then I've got all this leftover gas.
Yeah, so totally practical. It works.
Yeah.
This isn't experimental. This setup right now is experimental, but you've proven at this point that the system does work.
Absolutely.
And meets all of your needs as a homeowner.
Exactly. Yep. And I also have a lantern that I can hook it up to, like so that it doesn't release. I can hook it up to a lantern and just have a nice little light glowing at night.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Meets all of your needs.
Indeed.
So between this system and solar power, you could totally live off grid pretty much anywhere in the world. It's
Absolutely.
Once you set it up, it's portable, but once you set it up, it's going to stay there. But looking at the materials that it's made from, doesn't look that heavy.
Right.
So
no, and you can, like, if you wanted to spend a few months one place, a few months another place, you could always drain it. It's easy to drain.
Well, the system's cheap enough, you could leave it there.
You could too, but this, you just roll out this hose and you can empty it into buckets and use it also as fertilizer and compost.
All right.
Yeah, pretty neat system.
Well, I got to tell you, I might be interested in buying one.
Yay.
And then donating it. So,
excellent.
Yeah, so
beautiful.
We'll see who we can get to set that up on their property and give it a real test, maybe with multiple people to see
I think that would be beautiful.
how much we can get out of it as an experiment.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Tracy.
All right.